Okay, the last philosopher we're going to discuss is Rene Girard. Uh, More recent contemporary philosopher, just died in 2015, not contemporary anymore. Um, but he's particularly interesting when it comes to ethics because he did his whole philosophy, what's sometimes called mimetic theory. I'll explain what that is in a second. Is devoted to violence and understanding why human beings are violent and the role of Christianity and religion, in particular Christianity and mythology, with regard to violence and how they're all inextricably bound. We said with Kant that he, in the last video, that he saw that religion and ethics and morality went together because it dealt with the metaphysical. Here, Girard has a little bit of a different thesis that morality does come from religion, but religion itself is really a mechanism that is designed to control violence. And human violence is really primary when thinking about not only morality, but religion as well. Religion and mythology and Christianity and all this. And if you think, what what the hell does that mean? How do these go together? He wants you to consider archaic religion and archaic mythology, and all religion. Uh, all primitive religion has an altar as its centerpiece, and upon that altar would be sacrifices. Sometimes human sacrifices, sometimes animal sacrifices, but the idea of the gods and atonement and the idea of propitiation and appeasing the wrath of the gods with sacrifices. This is something that's common in every religion, and every primitive religion always had sacrifices. Even in the Christian religion, we have the one sacrifice of Jesus, right? He dies for the sins of humanity. And at the Christian celebration of the Eucharist, you do the sacrifice of the Eucharist, where this is his body and blood. So, and Girard has a very particularly interesting take on the role of violence and the sacred. He wrote a famous book called Violence and the Sacred, and has to do with the way in which religion controls violence. So, right off the bat, Girard's thesis is that religion, in particular the sacred, what we understand as the sacred, is inextricably bound with violence. And his analysis will take us into an understanding of human violence, how that relates to religion, and the role that Judeo Christianity has played in Western culture in tempering that and understanding that and reversing that. And he surprisingly is in a lot of agreement with Nietzsche. And he thinks Nietzsche is very important. He calls Nietzsche the most important theologian in the last 100 or 200 years or something like that. That Nietzsche's analysis about catharsis and violence and about the human being as a basically evil creature are largely true. So keep that in mind. In the next video, we'll talk about what mimetic theory is and mimetic desire and these things. But Girard's overall thesis has to do with violence and religion.